Okay, a verdict is in. A verdict is in. Good morning. Up. A verdict is in. Good morning. Let me hurry up and pull this up before we miss it so we can catch it when the world does. The verdict is in on the Ponzi scheme wife trial. West Virginia versus Natalie Cochran, accused of unaliving her husband of 18 years by way of injection of insulin. And the motive was supposed to be fear of being busted for a Ponzi scheme and being turned in. A verdict has come in rather quickly. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Be quiet. I hope y'all are here. All right, let's. Oh, will the defendant please rise? Oh my. Oh Lord. Slow down. Oh my gosh. Oh my Lord.
In the case of State of West Virginia versus Natalie Page Cochran, case foreperson of the jury. It is dated 1/29/2025. There are no marks on the portion of the verdict form pertaining to involuntary manslaughter. Does the state wish to examine the jury verdict form?
I'm gonna rewind it. Damn.
No, Your Honor. Thank you. You may be seated.
Oh, I tried to catch you, y'all. I just surprised me. I've been watching it, and it just surprises me because this came back within 2 hours. Good morning, Living. Good morning, Winter. Good morning, M. Renee. They could have stayed over yesterday, okay? But anywho, let's rewind this. Let's get it again. The live has been running 2 hours. The verdict came in within 2 hours, like I said. And I had a whole bunch of stuff planned for us to do during the verdict watch. I was just not finna do my makeup. Hold on. All right. We're going to do an instant rewind. I hope y'all off to a good start to y'all day. And this judge didn't pull no punches. He didn't have nothing to say. He just read the verdict. Good morning, everybody. I've been watching this for 2 hours. Well, I guess that's good because I actually have some things to do this afternoon. We'll be back tonight for the yeah, I ain't heard nothing. Okay, he ain't said nothing yet. Drop a woman if y'all can when y'all hear. I saw this part come on and I ran over here to set up the live. And boom, the verdict was already out. Can y'all hear?
All right. I am advised that the jury has a verdict. All parties are present and the defendant is here.
Can y'all hear? One. Okay. Good. Let's go.
I'll expect no outbursts when I read the verdict one way or another, and I will direct the bailiffs to escort anyone out who violates this directive. Are there any matters that we need to discuss before we bring in the jury and receive the verdict?
No, please stay, Your Honor. Thank you. No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Bring in the jury.
Hurry up and type in what you think. Guilty or not guilty. Type it in. Murder 1, manslaughter, malice. That's the 3 charges she facing. The lightest of them 3, I believe, is manslaughter. But hey. I might not know that. That might not be right. Living say guilty. I say guilty of manslaughter. And Renee say guilty. And Renee wanted to find out guilty of everything in the kitchen sink. I know Renee is guilty of in the first degree. Oh, where my coffee at? Baby, I was just doing my primer on my face, getting ready to come over here and do a whole reactions and stuff while we was waiting on the verdict.
Madam
Manslaughter.
Foreperson, has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes.
Would you hand that verdict to the bailiff who will
2
transmit
hours.
it to the court? Would the defendant please rise?
Ooh, I think I wouldn't be able
In
to
the
stand
case
up.
of State of West Virginia versus Natalie Page Cochran, case number 23-F-343K, the jury verdict is as follows. We, the jury on the issues, joined unanimously find the following. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree. The verdict form is signed by Holly Rich, foreperson of the jury. It is dated 1/29/2025. There are no marks on the portion of the verdict form pertaining to involuntary manslaughter.
Wow.
Does the state wish to examine the jury verdict
Good
form?
morning.
Wow. Does the defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You may be seated.
I heard, quite honestly, I heard him say guilty when I was trying to hurry up and get you guys on. You know, when I get whatever, I heard him say guilty, but I thought they were saying a manslaughter. I can't believe this. Wow.
Is there a request for the court to poll the jury?
Oh.
Not from the state, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
All right. The verdict is received by the court and directed to be recorded.
First
I'll
degree, Renee.
ask the state to prepare an appropriate order.
What to say?
in
There
the
was
premises.
absolutely no evidence
The
to prove
court
all that.
accepts the jury verdict
That is a stunner.
finds this defendant guilty of murder in the first degree. The defense will be afforded
The state got lucky because they
time
did a
to
horrible job.
file
right?
all appropriate motions. And as we discussed earlier,
I'm shocked too,
we
Sean.
must have further proceedings concerning the aspect of mercy. I would like to do that right away, and perhaps to commence this afternoon. I can afford the defense or the state 2 hours to prepare, and we can go directly into the mercy phase.
So there you have it.
Your Honor, as we pointed out to the court, we cannot have our witnesses prepared in 2 hours. Specifically, we anticipate calling
That closing
the
statement
children.
did it. Well, that
They-
closing statement was
they are
way
not
better
close
than
by at all.
the trial.
They're in school.
What they did.
Well, Matthew. No.
He say no. We still need more than 2 hours. That's her children behind her.
I've been corrected on that particular point, but we have to get in touch with our other witnesses. It will take considerable time to do that. We have to make sure they can get here, and we respectfully request to continue these proceedings and have the mercy portion sometime tomorrow.
What
Not so smug,
saith
Simone.
the state, Mr. Truman?
Your Honor, the state's prepared to go forward. We understand the defense situation. If they
Good morning, Miss Juicy Reviews. Glad to see you in the Lit Light Jury Box. Welcome.
And if they can't start out today, then we defer to the court's judgment.
All right. Members of the jury, let me explain to you the circumstances. You have found the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree.
Ooh.
There is another aspect that you must consider, and that is whether
First
or not
time she
to
cried the whole
afford to
trial.
her mercy. If she receives mercy, she will be eligible for parole in 15 years. If she does not receive mercy, she will spend the rest of her life in
Ooh.
prison. And that is a decision that
Good
you
morning,
must
Mr. 219.
determine.
Guilty.
We
First
must
degree,
have
girl.
a mini trial, so to speak, further proceedings for you to hear additional evidence in that regard and make a determination. You will have to return another verdict in regard to that matter. So the upshot of the situation is you are not finished with your responsibilities. And it is perhaps unfair to start into this right away and to force the attorneys to proceed in this very critical and important part of the proceedings. So it is such that we're going to start up at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I hope you'll understand.
All right. So what it is it's just the sentence. It's just what they call it, like the sentencing phase. In other places, they call it the sentencing phase, where people get to come up and say what type of character they was, and and plead their case so they can get a lesser sentence. But this is the first time I heard them call it the mercy stage, right? Which they are asking for mercy, right? So Winter says she was already doomed. Her guilty was predetermined by everybody due to that Ponzi scheme, but did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she committed murder. Good morning, Candy Cane girl. They just found her. Oh, good, Miss Juicy Reviews. I hope you make that a regular thing over here, girl. We meet every morning somewhere. Well, we meet most Monday through Thursday, girl. Oh my gosh. So I come live at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's my aiming. I aim for 10 a.m. Central Standard Time each morning, Monday through Friday. And then we do night court at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Welcome, Kathy Smith, girl. They found her guilty of first-degree murder. They deliberated for 2 hours. 2 hours, less than 2 hours. Okay, they. Good morning, VA Sag. No, I'm on my first cup of coffee, but I woke up and I've been up good. Y'all saying good? I cannot believe. Oh, thank you, Miss Juicy Reviews. I appreciate the support. And y'all, shout out to the Little Lane Jury Box. Shout out to the channel, Trial Watch with Demetra. We have hit 1,500 subscribers. Of course, we started off with, I think I started off like about 1,400. So that's like 100 new subscribers. But hey, we hit our first milestone. Shout out to the channel. Shout out to the new subscribers. Shout out to all of the Little Lane official jurors and the Little Lane Jury Box. Kathy Smith, welcome to the thank you for becoming an official Little Lane juror. But we appreciate you. I cannot believe this. This is the case of West Virginia versus Natalie Cochran. She stood accused in this trial of unaliving her 38-year-old husband, who she had been married to for over 18 years. 2 children between the two of them. The couple had a side business, government contracts. Come to find out, she was running a Ponzi scheme the whole time. And they left out no one. Some of their victims was family members, her in-laws, her own sister. But she wasn't on trial for the Ponzi scheme. She was found guilty of that and sentenced to 11 years of federal time. This was the trial for unaliving Michael Cochran, her husband, by means and method of injection of insulin. The state had alleged that the motive was Michael was starting to catch on to the fact that she was running some type of scam and that he was going to turn her in. And that's why the state alleged successfully, we know now, that she unalived him. You could have blew me over with a feather. I really, really thought that I kind of thought that she would definitely be guilty, but I thought it would have been because of manslaughter. Okay, read comment. Focus. Okay. I don't understand what happened with my membership, but it's fixed now. Okay, thank you. Good morning, Kurt Vixen. They found her. I don't see it. Living. Let me see. Welcome back, Kathy. That coming? Oh, right here. Living says, I think her actions or lack thereof got her that guilty. You can't get around her. Letting him lay there and taking pictures of him while he was dying. Absolutely. That was the point I was about to make. I really, really could see them doing guilty because by the fact that she left him sit on that couch for 7 to 8 hours, withering away dying. And here's the link. Without getting him medical attention. That in and of itself says manslaughter. Right? But I'm absolutely shocked that they found her guilty of murder in the first degree. If you guys for you guys who've been following this trial, and for anyone who may be new, we watched this trial, and the state, literally, we watched the state put on a piss poor case, a lackluster case. We watched and listened to every point they made being disputed and weakened by the defense. Welcome back, Lady Steph. Good morning, everyone. I definitely think she was found guilty because of the Ponzi scheme, which shows her being a bad actor and allowing him to just suffer without calling 911. Correct. Her character was shot. You know, for the stealing and all of those things. And I was watching, what's his name? Vince, whatever that man's name is on Court TV. And I was watching a special they did about this. And he was saying that the average income in where they're at in West Virginia is $26,000 a year. Right? So can you imagine being on this juror and everybody you know and the people in your family, most of everybody you know make $26,000. If somebody made $40,000, they balling. Can you imagine being in a community like that and these people are stealing hundreds of millions of dollars and you're sitting there in their jury and they talking about buying 3 motorcycles, buying 2 boats at a time, going to Paris, it probably offended them, those jurors, right? I bet they was very offended by these folks, hardworking jurors. Good morning, Foot Soldier. Welcome back. Went to say I expected her to be found guilty, but they still did not prove beyond reasonable doubt. Her team was battle every theory that they had and devour every expert they put up. Girl, how many cups of coffee you had this morning? Living says West Virginia is rural and country. Exactly, Lady Steph. And then she carried on a scam after he died. Yeah, so when I heard that last night about the average income, I said, oh my God, these people are not going to appreciate this. You know, the pick was horrible. However, that was not the first time he had an episode and went to a deep sleep. Now, that's no excuse to take him to the hospital right away. Right. Absolutely. They even talked about it on the thing I watched last night. They even went on to say in that rural part where they live that it's not even uncommon for folks not to just want to run to the hospital for everything, but of course people still know you have to go get care. I really think her not taking that man to the hospital really closed the deal on her. You know, but first degree murder, you have to show intent. You have to show premeditation. You have to show what I wrote it down. Let me see. Willful, any willful, premeditated, intentional. You know, my brain skips. So that's what's happening with this case. I'm absolutely shocked, but the case is in fact over. They're going to be meeting again tomorrow. At 9 a.m., we'll meet here at 10 to see about the mercy phase. We'll hear the people make pleas on her behalf to show her some mercy so she can possibly get parole in 15 years. Let's not forget she was sentenced previously for the Ponzi scheme to serve 11 years, which she's serving now in federal prison. So she's literally going to be buzzed from one prison to the next because they are not going to do it concurrently. Lady Steph say if they treated this case like the case of the grandmother who lost 2 grandchildren admitting her past, it would have been a totally different verdict. You think so? That's a good point of view. If they had treated this case like they did the case with the grandmother who lost the 2 grandkids, who was that, Miss Nix, huh? Omitting her past, it would have been a totally different verdict. Right. If they would have left out the part and they wouldn't have gave any testimony about the Ponzi scheme and just simply left it at a case of murder and the injection of the insulin, you're correct. I don't know if you're correct because I think, I think she would have probably got found guilty of manslaughter then. Right, not taking him to the hospital. That's what did it. Because they doggone sure didn't prove that the insulin was put in his body. They didn't prove that. Right? They couldn't prove that he wasn't a part of the Ponzi scheme. I don't think the state proved that at all. And I really think that yesterday, them closing arguments, the state did a really good job closing. And their case looked way better on PowerPoint and slides. And you know what? I also think that yesterday during the closing arguments, I think the defense kind of shot themselves in the foot because it was a couple of times yesterday. One good example is when the defense, they totally changed up one big thing yesterday. Let me think. What was it? The defense changed absolutely everything they had been saying the whole case. I was like, what? What was it? Something about the insulin for they changed the reason why she had asked for that insulin. And I was like, and I typed it in the chat. I say, no, he didn't just change up their whole defense they've been saying the whole trial. And I was like, that was a big mess up because the juror is not crazy, Lady Steph, exactly. That's why the state focused on the Ponzi scheme. That was a direct tainting on any. Wait a minute. That was a direct tainting on any of this trial. They basically was trying her indirectly for the prior act. Right. That's why the defense tried so hard to keep reminding them we're not here for that. Yeah, so that's where we at with this, y'all. This turned out to be an interesting case. It slowed down here and there. It did definitely slow down at times. The expert witnesses, I don't think they was worth the hill of beans. One good thing about this case is that we saw some very interesting lawyering, right? The defense team was absolutely quite the adversary. They didn't let anything slip by, and it seemed to me like they had the style of kind of like old school lawyering. They was all about the courtroom rules. Everything got objected to, and most of those objections flew. They was good. The state, to say they won this case, it wasn't by great lawyering. Okay, I feel very comfortable saying that. Living says they focused on the Ponzi scheme because that was supposedly the motive for her killing him. Right. But the state, the motive for her killing him with the Ponzi scheme was that he was going to find out and turn her in. And that was based off the fact that he didn't know anything about it. But I think the defense did a way better job showing that, yes, it did. They didn't prove their motive at all. And when I was watching that court TV breakdown, it wasn't from yesterday, it was from 2 days ago, but I watched it last night. I found it very interesting how they were saying, like, you can actually go through the trial and don't have a motive and don't give one. Boo for the state. Okay. Period. The defense was absolutely great. They didn't, I don't think they proved the motive at all. They proved the method of death, the method of the unaliving. They didn't prove that he had been injected with insulin. They didn't have no needle marks. They didn't even find insulin in the body. So I bet you she is just very shocked. This is the first time we saw her crying. I know that she was probably, I bet you anything, she was probably saying, okay, if I get found guilty, they probably maybe just find me guilty of manslaughter because I did let them lay up there on that couch, you know. But if I was her, I wouldn't think it was no way possible they were going to come back with no murder in the first degree. Wow. So I'm not going to hold y'all this morning long. I have some things. I'm glad the verdict came in. That way I can go ahead and get ready for my day. I was just about to do my makeup when the verdict came in. I'm going to run some errands. We will be back tonight, 7 p.m. for the best of. I think I'm going to just take advantage of this time and do some things that I need to do for the Jamaria Sessions case. We're working on that before 7 o'clock this evening. And for the rest of the week, we'll do we won't start immediately going to another trial. We will do just like some other in the news. Maybe we'll look at the opening statements for all these new trials that's going on. That should be interesting, you know. But we got a big trial coming up February 3rd. For Jamaria Sessions. That's the state of Florida versus Tyshell Martin. So I really want to get some work in on that so we can be ready. Winter says the entire city was against from the start. Look at how unprofessional a lot of those career people were. Like she stole something from them. She did steal something from them. Bonds for soldier. Renee say his body did not just produce an overload of insulin on its own. The insulin had to come from her. Her ass had planned this, and therefore she is guilty. Girl, Renee, where did she have an insulin? You must be talking about an overload of sugar. She didn't have any insulin. He didn't have the pathologist. All of the pathologists said that they didn't find any insulin in his body. The only thing they could say was the theory of the fact that when they treated him for the low blood count, the 21 in the hospital, the 21 count blood level, whatever, because of the way his body reacted to the hospital treatment was indicative of insulin being in his body. Demetri, in the future, can we, the jury, pick a trial? Yes. Yes. Y'all can pick the next trial. Y'all can pick the next trial for after the Tyshell Martin Jamaria Sessions trial. Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all can give me the suggestions and we put them up to vote. We can look at all of them, look at the what we know about the case and all that kind of stuff. We can look at the news reports and then we'll pick one. What, absolutely? Or say that again about what I said about the insulin? Renee, about the insulin? Okay, what I think you're talking about the insulin. So, all of the pathologists confirmed that no insulin was found in his body. However, when he was in the hospital getting treated, because he had hypoglycemia and his blood sugar was so low, they treated him for the hypoglycemia. It is true. They treated him for the hypoglycemia. Okay. When they was treating him for the hypoglycemia to bring his blood sugar up, It was because of the way his body reacted to that treatment that was indicative of his body having had insulin in it. Bottom line, because they was treating him in the hospital to raise his blood sugar came up and then went back down. That pathologist from Texas said that only happens in cases where insulin has been put into the body. That insulin was the only thing that did that. Y'all remember that Texas pathologist said that? And the only way that your blood sugar can be low is from too much insulin. Okay. Hey, I think she's guilty too. In addition to shock, I'm sure she is feeling defeated too. All that trickery that she did to get money. And then on top of that, watch her husband die. And she ends up with nothing. Karma is a bitch. Right. How many years did they run this Ponzi scheme? How many years were they living the fabulous life? It don't matter. It was 5, 10 years. It's not going to be anything like living the rest of your life away from your family. Don't have a husband from prison to prison. You know, was it worth it? No. What is wrong with y'all this morning? Y'all are just too excited. Y'all was excited last night in night court. I'm going to need y'all to calm down. I need everybody to take a deep breath. You ready? Okay, y'all can let it out. I almost said take a deep breath and just hold it. I think I got extra excited because I wasn't expecting it to happen so fast. And I'm sitting here like with it on my TV, just watching. And then all of a sudden, boom. And I almost started not to go live because I said maybe the judge coming in just to add some type of side note or something like that. But I say, no, let me come over here to my computer and go ahead and set it up to see what he's saying. And I was just like, wow, I didn't know they were going to do a verdict that fast. You know, I don't understand why they just didn't stay last night for a couple of more hours and say this, you know. This is the lit jury box, as in lit. No telling what you're going to get. Oh, that was good. That was good. Let me take a screenshot. Y'all saw when that new lady dropped in, Jessica dropped down last night. I told my son about that this morning. I say, we had a new juror drop in last night on the comment and on the trial. I say, but I got to remember that when we get new people, they don't know me. And so therefore they may not know my sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back, Lou. Good to see you this morning. I say, I got to be aware that these new people do not know Demetri Lit all day, right? So I'm going to have to kind of tone it down a little bit. Because as soon as the new lady dropped down, I'm like, welcome and boo. So I got to be more mindful of that. If you're new to me, Demetri Lit all day, aka Judge D Lit. If you're new to this channel, this is Trial Watch with Demetri, and the chat is the Lit Lane Jury Box. We are outspoken, opinionated, sometimes quite boisterous, unapologetic, very intellectual, and very forward thinking. Kathy say, I know I had to whisper boo. Last night was off the chain. I'm gonna need everybody to calm down. Kathy said, I was thinking the same thing. They could have stayed yesterday. Right. They could have stayed yesterday. Then they would have had all their ducks in a row for the mercy phase. And I need everyone to make sure that no one has smelly I'm not dealing with that today. I'm not dealing with that early. We're not gonna be messing with Melody. Okay. Last night I was emotionally drained. I just didn't even know which way to go, what to do. But yes, absolutely. Let me know if you guys. As a matter of fact, M. Renee requested this trial that we start on the 3rd. M. Renee told me about told me to research into the Tyshell Morton case. And that's how that became on my radar. So anytime you guys have a trial or a different something like that you guys want me to check into for us to probably use for content, let me know. Let me know. Okay? All right, you guys. Let me get off here and get cutesied up. And I will be on camera this evening because I'm going to go run some errands. And we shall meet back again. At this point in time, court is dismissed. You are free to spend your day as you will. Just be sure to reconvene here at the Lit Lane Jury Box at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time this evening. Again, State of West Virginia versus Natalie Cochran. The jury made a unanimous decision. The verdict was guilty of first-degree murder. Again, guilty of murder in the first degree. Hit the like if you haven't done so far. Bye, y'all. See y'all this evening. Best of Burn Pile Trial. Cross-examination of Rusty.
Thanks for watching. Do not forget click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Like, comment and share. See you next time.